A number of people have decided to withdraw their listenership and viewership from the Manning Report, and because I have identified Glenn Beck as a sellout, as a traitor, as an outright phony and a hypocrite. Glenn Beck has recently published a book, Arguing with Idiots. Glenn Beck has got on a brown shirt suit. Remember all the discussion about Obama's brown shirt academy and brown shirt youth that would be a part of his military organization? Well, Glenn Beck has got on a Nazi brown shirt outfit. Let me repeat that. Glenn Beck has got on a Nazi outfit with a Nazi cap and a brown shirt outfit. Notice that as the cover of his book. Let me further state that Glenn Beck, Bill O'Reilly, Sean Hannity, and others on Fox and others in the media have been told to not discuss the birth certificate issue. This will be a matter that will be indictable in the days to come when we gain the strength to actually bring this matter to court. Glenn Beck says that there's nothing to the birth certificate issue, that Obama is a U.S. citizen. Well, let me just say this to those of you who believe this Nazi idiot, this idiot Nazi, Glenn Beck, that's what I want to call him now, the idiot Nazi. The issue of the birth certificate goes directly to the heart and the foundation of this nation. It isn't just about the birth certificate. Everybody, please listen to me. If Obama is in any way prejudiced as far as his constitutional eligibility to serve as U.S. president, then it goes to the heart of the foundation of this nation, which is our Constitution. And we must have as much clarity about that as we possibly can. For those to say, like the big leprechaun Bill O'Reilly, that he has investigated and found that the birth certificate issue to be bogus because he has examined and has seen the birth certificate, he lied. He lied, and we need Joe Wilson to stand up and tell the big leprechaun, you lie. You haven't seen anything. But let's just assume that the birth certificate issue should be dropped. Well, why should we? Here's some reasons why we should not. Number one is because Obama does not have a credible past. By that I mean, it is very obvious, since he has sealed records that would verify and duplicate and would, I suppose, go ahead now and confirm that what he says about himself is true with respect to the birth certificate. He has sealed those records and we're not allowed to see them, which raises a modicum of suspicion in the mind of any intelligent thinking person. Let's say Bill O'Reilly is right and Glenn Beck, the Nazi idiot, is right as well, that the birth certificate is in place in Hawaii and there's no further argument. But the arguments get raised now because he has concealed information that would confirm and collaborate the authenticity of his birth here in the US of A. The very fact that everything from his high school diploma to his college records have all been sealed, his entire life has been sealed, really making him a man without a past. This is obvious. There's no argument about that. No one will argue that that's not true. So anyone with half a brain would recognize there's a real issue here. There is a real issue about whether or not he is a citizen simply because of the obvious things that are being sealed. So that within itself ought to require any noble and integral journalist to want to investigate why all these records are sealed. The Nazi idiot, Glenn Beck, and the big leprechaun, Bill O'Reilly, ought to be ashamed of themselves. They ought to both be shot with a sewer gun and then killed for stinking. This is ridiculous that this very obvious fact that the man doesn't have a past is something that a journalist ought to be looking at, and we as citizens ought to be looking at. But that isn't, it goes even deeper. Here's a man that alleged to have been born in Hawaii, yet no doctor has come forward to say he delivered him. No nurse, no anesthesiologist, no orderly, No one, no hospital worker, no night clerk, no electrician, no plumber, nobody from that hospital or a hospital in Honolulu or Hawaii has ever come forward to say that they were there the day that the long-legged Mac Daddy was born. Now, to be sure, there were people who worked for both hospitals in Honolulu on August the 4th, 1961. Why on God's green earth, no doctor, no orderly, no anesthesiologist, no bathroom cleaner, nobody has come forth to say, well, I was there that day. No one. This man has had no girlfriend. Nobody's ever come forward to say they've dated him. This man is a mystery man without a past. You have got to be a complete moron like the big leprechaun O'Reilly, or you've got to be the worst kind of a sellout. You've got to be the lowest form of life possible when no doctor, no nurse, no anesthesiologist, no records keeper, no one from a hospital has ever come forward who was working at the hospital in Honolulu on the 4th of August, 1961 to say that I was there. Nobody, no cab driver, no drugstore clerk, no Pampers, no diapers, no milk, no shoe shine boy. Nobody has ever said that the first African-American president's birth, that they were at least in the general vicinity. No one. Don't you consider that highly suspicious and worthy of an investigation? You big Nazi, Glenn Beck? What's wrong with you people in America today? What's wrong with you? Do you think that people are going to allow this to be swept under the rug? Now, no girlfriends, no neighbors, no drugstore, no nothing. But not only that, we don't know, no one has come forward to clear up his past. You big leprechaun, Bill O'Reilly, somebody ought to shoot you with a sewer gun and then again kill you for stinking. What we do know about his past, the little we do know, Jeremiah Wright, GD America, William Ayers, trampling on the American flag, Tony Resco, outright criminal. Those things we do know about him. And what we do know about him would condemn the average person. I mean, you couldn't get across the street with the kind of associations that Obama has. And here's another one. His wife, Michelle the Fist Bumper, has been disbarred by the Illinois bar that she cannot and will not ever allow to practice law again. What did that big dyke do to get disbarred by the Illinois bar? What did she do? Shouldn't someone be asking the question if we've got a criminal in the White House that did something and cut a deal with the courts where she gave up her license, says she can't practice law anymore and was on probation? Isn't that you Nazi idiot Glenn Beck? You big leprechaun Bill O'Reilly? Shouldn't we investigate that this woman cut a deal for probation and to give up her law license, and yet she's now in the White House? I mean, and for y'all to run around here and say that there's nothing to investigate is worse than treason. And God knows the American people are going to hear me. No, they're going to hear this. Now, these are legitimate issues that have nothing to do with race, nothing to do with political party, but everything to do with the U.S. Constitution that's greater than Obama. People are going to wake up, and when they wake up, they're going to storm Fox Studios. They're going to storm it and drag that Nazi idiot Glenn Beck out of the studio. They're going to drag Bill O'Reilly out for absolutely being the mouthpiece to lie to us, to take away our rights to know and to defend the U.S. Constitution. We're going to find out, and people are going to wake up. I'm telling you, people are going to hear me. Oh, yes, they are. People are going to hear what I'm saying. I've just made a case that even Perry Mason, Clarence Darrow and Johnny Cochran, all of them would look at this and say, even Judge Ito would have to say, guilty as charged. There's no doubt about it. Oh, I'm going to be heard, you Nazi idiot Glenn Beck. I'm going to be heard, you big leprechaun Bill O'Reilly. And finally, let me say that, You know, I'm speaking with a lot of anger towards these men, a lot of anger towards them, and then the anger is rooted in the fact that they are such sellouts. They are traitors to this nation. This isn't just about ratings anymore. This is being a traitor to our nation, and the American people will be more angry than I am when they discover what this idiot Nazi Glenn Beck has done and the big leprechaun O'Reilly. Why on earth, on God's green earth, no doctor, nor nurse, anesthesiologist, no midwife has ever come forward to say I was there on August 4th, 1961. I mean, come on, America, come on, come on. Allah, that's what God said, that's what God said.